I have something right here that I want to share with you guys. Just give me 1 second so I can go ahead and slide it out. Okay, so this is a credit card, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how to go about using one. But on top of that, if you implement everything that I'm about to share with you in this video, you are going to be keeping more of your hard-earned money. You are going to be building your credit score up over time. And on top of that, you are going to be also putting yourself in the strongest position possible for these credit card companies to look at you and then decide that you are someone that is trustworthy, reliable, and that they're going to give you higher increases when it comes to your credit card limits. So with that being said, if you could find right beneath this video the thumbs up button, give that thumbs up button a quick tap for me. It helps this channel reach a wider and wider audience and helps more people just like you find the video like this, so then they can learn how to use a credit card themselves. Now, if you could just also take one more split second, find the subscribe button right beneath the video, give that subscribe button a quick tap for me, so that way you will be notified by YouTube every time I upload a video just like this one. Thank you so much for taking the time to do that. And now let's go ahead and get right into today's video. Okay, so for me, first and foremost, before you do any other thing with the credit card, it's all about getting a credit card that absolutely does not have an annual fee. So if you do not currently already have a credit card and you are watching this video because you're like, hey, I want to learn about how to use a credit card and I'm thinking about getting one, first and foremost, make sure that you get a credit card when you are doing your research. Research and look for a credit card that has absolutely $0 annual fee when you get it and as you continue to use it over the years, because there's cards that offer $0 annual fee for the first year, but then they're going to start adding on like a $97 annual fee or something like that. You don't want any of those cards. First and foremost, let's make this completely black and white clear. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no need for you to get a credit card that has an annual fee. There's plenty of really great credit cards out there that offer perks, bonuses, all kinds of other things. There's, beginner cards, everything that absolutely are with $0 annual fees. So there's really no excuse why you need to go ahead and get a credit card that has an annual fee attached to it. So what do you do if you've already applied for a credit card and that credit card has an annual fee attached to it, or you already have a credit card and then you've realized, as I brought it up in this video, that this credit card has an annual fee attached to it? Well, it's not the end of the world. I know you're like, damn it, Keith said not to get a credit card that has an annual fee. But like I said, it's not the end of the world. This is what I want you to do and what I want you to ask yourself. I want you to ask yourself, is this credit card giving me more value than the annual fee that they're charging me? And how you're going to determine that is by looking at what are the actual benefits, perks, or bonuses that come with this credit card. And then you look at those and say, okay, are those things that I'm getting in return for the annual fee that they're charging me, are those bonuses, perks, all that, whatever it is that you're getting for having that credit card, are those things worth way more, than the dollar value that you're getting charged in the annual fee? And if the answer is yes, that's fine. Go ahead and keep that card, because clearly what you were getting in return for paying, for having access to that credit card, like you're not going to get that credit card obviously without paying that annual fee. But if you look and realize like, hey, I could get another credit card that offers those same bonuses, those other features, and not pay that annual fee, well then clearly you're in a situation that kind of sucks. But if you realize, hey, no, like this is the only credit card, or I can't get a comparable credit card without paying an annual fee, and the one you got is already good, then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and keep that credit card, because it's obviously going to, be very beneficial and very valuable for you. But if the benefits that you were going to get for having that card is not going to outweigh the annual fee, and maybe the benefits are there, but they're not actually going to apply to you, and you're not going to really use the card in the way to where you could actually get the benefits, then that card is simply not making sense for you. And what I suggest to you is that you go ahead and cancel that card. Like I said, it's not the end of the world. You could always go out there and apply for another credit card and, pick up and carry on from there. That would be the very best advice that I could give to you. Take a hard look at the credit card that you have, and then ultimately look and decide, is the benefits that you are getting, are they worth more than the annual fee that you are being charged? And if not, go ahead and cancel that card and look for another one that does not charge you an annual fee. All right, so we just covered making sure that you get the right credit card for you, because you're either going to have a credit card that has absolutely no annual fee, or you are going to have a credit card that does have an annual fee, but the benefits truly outweigh the annual fee that you're going to get charged. So now let's get into what exactly is a credit card and what a credit card is not. So first, let's address what a credit card is not, because that is far more important than what a credit card is. So what a credit card is not a license for you to just go out there, swipe your card, buying whatever the hell you want, wherever you want, all the way up to the available credit limit on your credit card. Because what a credit card is a credit card is a bank telling you, hey, yes, I've approved you to lend you a certain amount of money that you have access to in the form of a credit card. So they said, hey, we'll go ahead and allow you to spend up to a certain limit, and we're going to put that limit on a credit card. So boom, they mail you your credit card, you got it, and you're like, all right, cool. I got a $1,000 limit. So you can now go out there, you could go shopping, you could go online, you could spend it in whatever way you want, on whatever you want. But that doesn't mean you should just go out there and spend it on whatever the hell you want, wherever you want, and then just say, hey, like, this is like free money. I'm just gonna swipe my card or enter my numbers online and just, spend recklessly. How should you actually spend your credit? We're gonna get into that in just a minute. But like I said, that is what a credit card is. Now, let's go ahead and start covering exactly how you should use your credit card once you decide, yes, I'm gonna now start actively using my credit card. All right, so when you reach the point that you are now ready to actually make purchases and use your credit card, this is exactly how you wanna do it. And this is the part of the video that you really wanna lean in and actually pay very close attention to. So let me go ahead and get a little bit closer so you can know that I'm actually being very serious about this point. And I could not emphasize this anymore. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are only using your credit card to make purchases that you were already going to make in the first place. Like, you are not going to say, hey, I got this new cool credit card, I got $1,000 limit, and now I'm just going to go out there and like look for really cool stuff that I want and just start buying all of these things and then just kind of worry about paying it back later, because this is not free money. The banking companies are not just like, hey, you seem like a cool guy or a cool girl, we're just going to give you, $1,000 for free, or whatever your credit limit was. They're not giving you free money. You have to pay this money back. So you have to really think like logically about this, and you really want to treat your credit card just the same as if you were spending actual cash money. So in order to use it in the best way possible, like I said, the mindset you really want to take when it comes to using your credit card is that you want to go ahead and only use your credit card in instances where you were already going to make that purchase anyways. So like, if you were already going to buy gas, then you might as well go ahead and use your credit card. And the chances are, if you have like, say, a cashback credit card, well, you're probably going to get, some type of cashback rewards for using your credit card instead of, say, a debit card or cash, in other words. But, and I want to put a lot of emphasis on this point, where you really want to be really smart with deciding when and when not to use your credit card, is you do not want to use your credit card when you are going to get charged additional fees to use your credit card. You want to only use your credit card when you specifically, the credit card user, are not going to get charged any additional fees to use your credit card. So you need to ask, or you need to pay attention when you're going to do a credit card transaction, if the cashier or wherever it is that you are doing the purchase, if you see, or when you're going to, say, for example, go up to a gas pump and it's like, oh, do you want to accept the fees for doing a credit card transaction? You want to be like, nah, like, I'm going to go ahead and no. And now you want to go ahead and, decline that. And maybe you want to now do a debit transaction, or maybe you want to pay in cash, because the whole point of using a credit card is to use it to your advantage, so that way you're able to build your credit score over time, and then ultimately you could get like things like credit card points or cash back, or just other bonuses and incentives that come with using a credit card. But you do not want to be paying money to go ahead and spend money. Like, that's just dumb. So that's why you really want to be mindful and pay attention to the way that you are using your credit card, because yes, they can be like, very rewarding, but again, you just have to be mindful and pay attention to the way that you are using these credit cards. So like I said, pay attention to when it makes sense to use your credit card and when it makes sense to, go a different route other than using your credit card. Now, back to actually spending. So what you want to do is, like I said, you want to make sure that you are only using your credit card to make purchases on that credit card that you were already going to make in the first place. And then ideally, what you want to do, doesn't mean you have to, because there's like obviously like a way around it, but what you really want to like emphasize, a good general like rule of thumb or practice, is to keep your credit card usage to like 30% or less of your available credit. So like, let's just say like in the example that we brought up in this video, if your credit limit is $1,000 for a good like credit score, and like to keep your credit score at a good like range, and just to not put yourself in a situation where you're kind of like stretching yourself as far as like your available credit and maxing out your available credit, credit card companies like to see you keep your usage under that 30% range. So that would be like at the point of $300 when we're talking about your $1,000 credit limit. So if you have a $1,000 credit limit, they really like to see that you're only, although you have a $1,000 credit limit, they like to see that you are only using $300 or less, because it makes them nervous when they see you are using all of your credit limit, because they're like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you pushing it all the way to the max? Maybe you're finding yourself in like a tough financial situation. You don't have any money. Maybe you're just looking for some way to kind of make all these purchases, and then you're going to screw the bank over and you're not going to pay, all the money back to them. And that makes, the credit companies like nervous. And then you'll notice as you start to max out your credit cards, your credit score will go down with it. So ideally, as a good rule of thumb, you want to keep your credit card spending under or right around that 30% of your available credit or under. I want to put a lot of emphasis on making sure that you are only making purchases with your credit card that you are already going to make anyways. So we've covered getting the right type of credit card for you. We've covered, as a general rule, how much you should spend of your available credit limit on your credit card. We've also covered when you should not use your credit card. Now, we all know, like we just mentioned in this video, clearly at some point you have to pay this money back that you have now charged on the credit card. So when it comes to that and you receive your statement, whether that's like in digital form, like they email it to you and they're like, hey, here's your credit card statement, or you receive an actual physical statement that comes in your mail, how do you go about actually making the payment? Because this is what's going to happen. You're going to open up your credit card statement and you're going to see, hey, I charged, in the example like we said of using $300 out of your $1,000 credit limit. You're going to open up your statement and you're going to see like, hey, it shows I've only used $300 out of my $1,000 credit limit. I have $700 credit available still. And on the on the section of your statement, it's going to say, hey, my minimum monthly payment is $35. And you're like, oh, that's cool. I could just mail them $25 or $35. Like, it's not a big deal. It's a very big deal, because of course they're putting that, because the part that they're not telling you is that that is only the minimum payment. Like, that's kind of like the sneaky phrase, is it's just the minimum. They're not saying, hey, this is the actual payment you need to pay us back in order to make sure that you avoid paying us all of the interest that we're going to hit you with if you don't pay your balance in full in this month, in this billing cycle. Because that is the thing that you actually have to do to avoid paying any interest, is you need to pay that entire total off to avoid paying any interest. Because any amount of money that you leave left over after they accept your payment, whatever that dollar amount is, and whatever the interest rate that they're going to charge you, they're going to take that interest rate and charge it to that dollar amount and say, okay, whatever that total is, that's the amount of like dollars that you were going to get charged in interest. So, you do not even we're not even going to get into that conversation. What you're going to do, because you are trying to use a credit card and you are trying to use it in a good, smart way. You want to use it efficiently. You want to use it to your advantage, because that's exactly what I told you would get in this video. You would save money. You would not spend any money that you wouldn't ordinarily be spending anyways. If anything, you're going to benefit from using your credit cards, because you're going to use them in a smart way, getting rewards, things like that. Build your credit score over time, and then also put yourself in a situation where you are going to get credit card limit increases. And that's what I'm giving you in this video. So what you are going to do is you are going to ignore that minimum monthly credit card payment. And what you are going to instead do is look right on that, credit card statement and find the amount where it says the $300, because that's what you've charged in that month out of your $1,000 credit limit. You charge $300 and you are going to pay before that due date. You're going to find that due date on that credit card. And I would say what I generally do is pay it at least one day before that credit card date. And if you see like, hey, my credit card, bill payment is due on a Saturday, do not try to pay it on a Saturday. Pay it on like an actual business day. Pay it on that Friday, and just schedule it one day before. You could schedule that, ahead of time. Just go ahead, mark your payment or if you're still someone who writes checks, I don't know who still writes checks, but if you do, go ahead, put that check in the mail, go ahead, or go online, schedule your bill pay, however you do it. Just make your payment at least one day in advance during an actual business, business day of the week, somewhere between Monday and Friday. Schedule that payment to be made for the whole entire balance that you charged on your credit card without leaving any balance whatsoever, because if you leave a balance, they are going to charge you interest. And at that point, what was the point of using a credit card if you're going to get charged money to spend money? That's just dumb. And that's exactly why you're not going to do that. So in order to do this right, and you're going to do it right, I know you are. So pay the balance in full each and every single month. And if you do this, because you are making consistent on-time payments each and every single month, that you are using your credit card. Even in months when you don't use your credit card, what's going to happen is that the credit card companies are going to report to the credit bureaus. They're going to show, hey, this person's balance is always at zero. They're always in a positive, good standing with us, the credit card company. That is going to reflect in a very positive signal with the credit bureaus. And then your credit score is going to reflect in that positive signal. Like, you are going to gradually, over time, it's not going to happen very fast, but you are slowly, little by little, the longer you have your credit card with this credit card company, and you are just continually going month after month, positive billing cycle after positive billing cycle, your credit score is going to go higher and higher. And then you're going to notice the credit card company, as your credit score starts to go higher and more months have gone by where you are in good standing with this credit card company, the credit card company is going to offer you, or they're just going to automatically do it for you, a higher credit limit. And that's just a very positive signal that you now have a positive relationship between yourself and that credit card company, and they now trust you, to lend you more money and give you a higher credit limit than you had. But again, you just need to be very careful with this. It does not mean, oh, hey, I got more available credit, I could just go out there and start spending more wild because they trust me more. All the rules still apply the same, regardless if your balance is a $100 credit limit or you have a $100,000 credit limit. You never want to spend more in a single month than you could pay back in full, carrying over no balance whatsoever. And if you do all of these things like I just shared with you in this video, like I said, you are not going to be spending any more money than you otherwise would be. And even if anything, you are actually going to be benefiting and getting cash back, rewards, points, some type of credit card incentives. And if nothing else, you are going to consistently build a long-term positive relationship with the credit card company, putting you in the best position possible to get higher credit limits on your credit cards. And that's awesome. Then your credit score is going to go up, putting you in position to qualify for even better and higher, harder to get credit cards. And that's great because that's going to give you even better type of rewards. And ultimately, this is exactly how you use a credit card. So if you made it to this point of the video, I would really appreciate it if you find the like button on this video, give the like button a quick tap for me. And then if you just could do me one huge other favor, look right here beneath the video, find that subscribe button, give that subscribe button a quick tap for me, so that way you'll get notified each and every time I upload a video just like this one. And then now what you want to do is a video is going to pop up here on the screen. You want to click that video, and I will see you in that next video.